Okay, I'd like to just quickly go through the assessment exam paper 3, which was sat by Year 9 Set 1 this year. Here we go, so fairly swiftly. Triangle T, no more triangles. Enlargement, so we're looking for the same ratio. So in this particular triangle, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 down and 3 across. So it's got to be like 8 down, 6 across or something similar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, bang, I'm on already. That's 8 and that's 6. So it's twice as big as that one, it's just rotated around. So the answer is F. And the scale factor, because it's double, the scale factor will just be 2. Right, next one. Question number 2, we've got a load of patterns, and write down a formula. Well, because this is going up in 3s, we know the time it's going to be based on the 3 times table. I haven't got much space here, but if I imagine a 3 times table, 3, 6, 9, 12, so this is the 3 times table, or 3n, 3 times n, 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3, and we're 2 short every time, so I'm going to have to do 3n, add on 2, and I get 5, 8, 11, 14, which is what I want. So the answer here is 3n plus 2, 3 times table plus 2 extra. Question number 3, we've got a formula. We're told the total amount is 260, so we should be writing 260, which is the cost, is 10w plus 35. Take off the 35 from each side, so it's 225 is 10w, so w is this divided by 10, 22 and a half. Because it's money, it must be £22.50p. Notice that I've written down working out. I've not just done it in your head. I've not tried to do anything clever. It's very important you show details. Small maths books, so we've got 25 lots of £7.34. Lots of ways of doing this one. We could do 5 lots and 20 lots. We could do 100 lots, which is £734. There's 100 of them, and because I only want 25 of them, I'm going to have to divide it by 4. So 734 divided by 4. Oh, sorry, divided by 4. Okay, so how many 4s in 7? 1 remainder 3. How many 4s in 33? 8 remainder 1. How many 4s in 14 is 3. Remainder 2. We can carry on. Just put the 2 there. And 0.5. So again, it's £183.50p. You could have done long multiplication. Lots of ways of doing it. Write 20 out of 25 as a percentage. A percentage is always out of 100. So because I've multiplied the bottom by 4, I do the same to the top at 80%. Question number 5. Complete the table. It's a two-way table. You've got to look for one where there's a gap. So 12 and 3 is 15. That must be a 1 to make 16. 1 add 2 makes 3. We've now got 14 here because 16 plus 14 makes 30. 8 and 2 is 10, must be a 4 there. 3 and 4 is 7. 12 and 8 is 20. We've got a little check. 20 add 7 add 3 plus equals 30. How many of the girls had sandwiches? That's just 4. Simplify. So we've got 6n. We're going to add 7n, which makes 13n. Take off 8n, which is 5n. Simplify this, we multiply the integers first, multiply the numbers first, and then we don't need a symbol for multiplication. And multiply this out, we do 3 times 2x, which is 6x, and 3 times 5, which is 15. You might choose to do it like this, 2x and 5. An area, if you like 3 times 2x add 5, we get 6x there, 15 there, and we get the answer. 6x plus 15. Question number 7. Rotational symmetry of order 4. which means when you rotate it round, it's going to look the same in 4 different positions. But like a square, if you rotate a square around, it will look the same in 4 different positions. So you're kind of just following a pattern really. So I'm going to draw that there and that there. So I've got the square in the middle. It's now just a matter of putting these things in the right place. So we've got 2 going straight up, 2 going straight across, so we must have a 2 going straight down, and 2 going straight to the right. And then we know the other line is 4, so this must be 4, finish it off, and this line must be 4, and finish it off. If you found it easier, you could trace it, you could trace the top half, rotate it around, and it would match the bottom half. Show how this tessellate. Tessellate just means they join together with no gaps, like a tiling in the bathroom. So you've got to draw at least 5 shapes. So I could just draw another one upside. Hard to show this one like that. So now I've got 2, and then I could just put some more next to it. I could have them the same way, or the other, it doesn't make any difference. Probably easiest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it that way round. Back on the right size? No, I haven't. So it's gone wrong again. Back again. So we go 4 up, and then we go to 2, so it's like there, and 1 the other way round. Hard to show them clearly. Alright, so now we've got 4, and then let's do a last one. I'll do one more down here. Okay. Now I've got 5, you can carry on 6. And you can carry on forever, but it just says 5 shapes needed. Question number 8, 60% of 5,300. The idea being that 10% is going to be 530, because you divide by 10 to get 10%. And 60%, we want 6 of these. You know, so many of the questions involve a scaling up. 6 of these, 6 500s is 3,000. 6 30s is 180. 3,180 kilograms. Simple interest, which doesn't crop up very often, but simple interest means you just work out for the interest for 1 year and then you double it, same every year. This would only work in a banking situation if you took the money out after the first year. So 2,500, we want to work out 6% of that. 1%. Might be our easiest to get. We divide by 100 to get 1%, so that'd be 25. So 6% would be 6 of those. Again, I'm scaling up. 6 25s is 150. And because we've got it for 2 years, it'll be twice that, with £300. Normally you'd leave the money in the bank, and next year you get 6% of the bigger amount. But simple interest means you get interest after the first year. In effect, you take the interest out, and then you get the same interest the following year. Question number 9, find the area. Remember, the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. If you imagine a rectangle, 4 times 3 is a rectangle, and then we're going to halve it. So 6, and it does say give your units, so you'd lose a mark if you didn't, 6 centimetres squared. Question 10. The probabilities always add up to 1, so we've got 0.3, 0.7, 0.8, must be 0.2 to make up 1. Probability it lands on a 4, therefore is 0.2. Which number is it most likely is a 2, we've got probability 0.4. And probability to add an odd number, that's odd, and that's odd, so we want those 2 numbers, so 0.4. Spins 100 times, the number of times you get a 2, when the probability to get a 2 is 0.4, so we're just doing 0.4 and we're times it by 100. 40 times we'd expect to get number 2, it's less than half of them. Spins it twice, number 1 both times, okay. So the probability number 1 first time is 0.3, probability number 1 is second time is 0.3, but both to occur we multiply them together. So it's 0.09. Okay. Not 0.9, because we think of it, this is 3/10, this is 3/10, so you end up with 9/100ths. Right? So the answer could be that or that, either of those, or it could be 9%. Okay, any of those would be fine. Question number 11. The perimeter is where you add up the distances around the edge. So because it's laid out really nice for us here, x plus 2x plus 3x. Remember x is 1x. So that gives us 6x. And then we add up 1, add 5, add 2 is 8. 6x plus 8. It then tells us the perimeter is 50. So we know that the perimeter has to equal 50. Take off the 8 from each side. And then we're going to divide by 6. 42 over 6. We can divide top and bottom by 3. That's 14 over 14. Oh, sorry, it's just 7, isn't it? So the answer is 7. Question number 12. Distance from A to B is 3 1/4. From B to C, okay, so all the information is given to us. We're going to go from A to C. Okay, so really all we're looking to do is 3 3/4 plus B to C, plus 11.5, isn't it? Okay, so because it's an add, I mean you can make both of these improper fractions, so you could do 7 over 4 plus 23 over 2, and you could double this one to make it both out of 4, 7 out of 4 plus 46 out of 4, and you add the top together because you've got a common denominator, so you end up with 53 quarters, which is 13 1/4. Option 1. Because it's add, you could just add the two whole numbers together, so 3 add 11. Oh, gone wrong somewhere, sorry. I've gone wrong then, so 7, 46, I've gone wrong. 22, 23. Oh, it's not 7, is it? 4 times 3 is 12, 15. So 15 over 4. So it's important to check, because here I've noticed that 3 plus 11 is already 14, so the answer can't be 13. Okay, so I've got a little check for myself. And then with this is not 7, this is 15. 15 add 46 is 61. That's 15 1/4. Okay, right, so 3 plus 11 is 14. Always useful to check. I know I tell everyone to check, and I have to do it myself sometimes. Very easy to make little steps. And then we can add the fractions afterwards. So we can do, well, what's 3/4? Add a half. Common denominator. You could do all the cross multiplying that some people like to do. So 6 plus 4 all over 8, which is 12 over 8. I've gone wrong again. 10 over 8. Oh, 10 over 8, which is 1 1/4. So 14 plus 1 1/4 is 15 1/4. Or we could just double the second one to make it 2/4 and 3/4, which is 5/4, which also 1 1/4. Whichever way we do it, 15 1/4. Work out the distance from C to D. So B to D is 14 3/4. From there to there is 14 3/4. We know that bit, so this time it's a takeaway. So 14 3/4 take away 11.5. It's the best way of doing this one. Again, you could do the improper fractions. You can do a takeaway. You can do 14 would work this time. 14 take away 11 is 3. The 3/4 take away a half. It's just a quarter. So you're left with 3 1/4 miles. And finally, the average speed in miles per hour for A to B. So it's 3 3/4 is the distance over time. Okay, that's miles per minute. And we're going to times it by 60 to get miles per hour. So that and that both divided by 5. 12 threes are 36. 3/4 of 12 is 9, so it's 45. Okay, question 13 is a bearing question. Bearing is always measured from north. There's a bit of a clue here because of north, and we generally assume it's straight up the page. Of course, depending on which orientation we've got the page, but there we go. So that's north, and we're going to need it from B as well. Oh, here we use a ruler, and yours will be straight up as opposed to mine. So bearing of 37 from A, we're going to measure clockwise, and we're going to go 37 degrees. So somewhere in that direction. Okay, so we don't know how far on the line is, we just know it's along there. The point C is 300 from B. Now we could go 300 clockwise, so 90, 180, 270, 300, so in this sort of direction, or we could go 60 back again. Right? If we're going to draw it, we've got a circular protractor, this would be fine. If we've got an ordinary 180 protractor, then this would be easier. And we're told that it's also 3 centimetres away from B. Clearly I can't measure this, but say we go 3 centimetres, and then we're going to mark a C. Sometimes you get a question where it tells you it's 37 from A and 300 from B, don't give you any distances, and then you'd be looking for the crossing point. But that's not the case in this question, they're 2 separate questions. Question 14, data collection sheet, type of vehicle. This is actually not on the syllabus anymore, but it's a fairly straightforward question. So we're going to have our options here. We're going to have this vehicle. So we're going to have car, lorry, if you like, van, bus, and always cover your bases. Put an other there. Normally you'd have tally. And tally would be where you go to 2, 3, 4, 5 as you're collecting them. And here will be frequency, which would just be how many tallies you've got. So if it's filled in, it might be, that will be the answer, sorry. And then, but if it was filled in, it would be something like this. And then you just put the numbers here, 6, 2, 4. But they want a blank one, okay? So they don't want you to put the numbers in, they just want that. It's not the only option, but something along those lines, okay? Question 15, we're told that 1.5 times 450 is 693. So really here we're just trying to get the decimal point in the right place. So we know all the answers are going to have a 6, 9 and a 3 in it. Okay, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 3. So it's just a matter of getting the size right. Now we could, 2 options, we could say, well, 450 and 45, that's divided by 10. So I know this will be 69.3. Or you could do, well, what's 1.5 45s, or 1.5 40s? 1.5 times 40 is 60, so I know the answer must be somewhere near 60, which helps you put the point in the right place. The next one, again, we've divided by 10 again, or we could do 1.5 times 4 is 6, so I know the answer is roughly 6, so 6.93. And this one, I've made both of them smaller, so if I think of this, this is a little bit harder. This one I've gone back. I think it's probably better to do, I say this is 0.2. This is, I don't know, 0.5. 0.2 times 0.5 is 0.1. So I know the answer is going to be close to 0.1. So it's actually going to be 0.0693. Okay, a little bit harder, that one. Okay, because I've made this bigger and this bigger, so this answer is too big. So I have to go a little bit smaller, so 0.693. Tricky little one, that one. Okay, question 16. Angles in a pentagon. If you think angles in a triangle is 180, angles in a 4-sided shape is 360, and they just go up in 180s. So 5-sided shape is going to be 540. Okay. The way you could see that, I don't want to draw a diagram, but if you had a pentagon, you can think of it as being 3 triangles. 3 times 180 is 540. So I've got 100, 200, 300, 400, so this must be 140 degrees. We've got questions, oh, it can't be question 7. Question 17, I'm just got it wrong. Tricky one. and I guess you haven't covered this, but I'll give you a quick idea. A length is just lengths added together. Area is where you've got a pair of lengths multiplied together, and volume is where you've got three lengths multiplied together. So here we've got pi, which is just 3.14, just a number. This first one is pi a h. A times a times h. It's three lengths multiplied together as a volume. This one, we've got pi, which is nothing. We've got b times b, so it's two lengths, that's an area. And we ignore the numbers, we've got an h. Single letter, so that's a length. So we've got an area plus a length. That's none of them. And the last one, we've got a times h, we've got two multiplied together, so it's an area. Remember, you can ignore the numbers, because we're looking at units, we're not looking at how big the units are. Okay, question 18. Work out the median. So there's 100, so we're looking cumulative frequency, so 4. We add an extra 10 on, we've now got 14 people, so there's 14 pigs are below 75, somewhere between 65 and 75. Add on the 34, so now we've got 48, so 48 pigs are between 65 up to 80. But we want the median, which is the middle pig. The middle pig is a 50th, if you like, so it's going to be in this next group here, isn't it? So 70, that's 80, and that's 96, and obviously all 100 pigs are less than 95. So our 50th one lies in this group here. So it's 80 less than W less than equal to 85. An estimate for the mean would be, well, we pick the midpoint. We don't know how heavy the pigs are, but we pick the midpoint. So the pigs are between 65 and 70, so we're going to call them 67 and a half. Between 70 and 75, so 72 and a half. It's a bit of a nuisance, this one. 77 and a half. 82 and a half. 87.5 and 92.5. And now we do frequency times mid. Okay, which is not great without calculators, but it can be done. If I can bother doing it, whether I can times it. 4 times 67 and a half. 4 7.5 is 30. 4 60s is 240. 270. 10 lots of that is 725. 34 lots of that. Oh dear me. 32 lots of that. 16 lots of that. 4 lots of that. Let's do this one. 360. That's 370. I've got 3 long multiplications. I'm afraid I'm going to leave you. I'm going to cheat. Alright? I mean, I could do it, but here we go. So we've got to do 34 times 77.5. I'm a bit surprised this is on a non-calculated paper, but anyway. 2635. 32 times 82 and a half. 2640. I wouldn't expect there to be a question like this on non-calculated paper for some reason. 87.5 is 1400. So to find the mean, so this is the weight of these 4 pigs. So 4 pigs are roughly 6 and 7.5 kilos each. So total weight. So we're going to add up all these together. So 270 plus 75. Apologies for cheating here. 2635 plus 2640 plus 1400 plus 370. That's 8040. There's 100 pigs. So the mean is 8040 divided by 100, which is 80.4 kilograms. It's called an estimate because we don't know the exact weights, we just know what group they're in, and also we're using the midpoints. Okay, so we've got between 65 and 95, 80.4 is between those, so it's a reasonable answer. Okay. Question 19. Fall at constant rates. Which one's which? So the first one is filling up at a constant rate. Okay, so the height over time, so it'll be a straight line. So R, A is R. So we'll put that one in. This one's probably best next easiest. It'll get slower and slower. Quicker and quicker to fill up. Okay, because the first bit is wider and it gets narrower and narrower, so it fills up quicker. So it starts slowly and gets quicker and quicker and quicker. Right? So this will be Q. So C is Q. So it only leaves us two left. So I've done R and I've done Q. This one here will be constant, fill up very quickly but at a constant rate, and then because it gets wider it will slow down. So this will be P. This one here, so D will be P, and the last one fills up, starts off quickly because it's very narrow. It gets slower and slower, so the gradient gets less, then it speeds up again. So it's got to be this one. So I've only got one left anyway, so it'll be S. I'm not sure it's 100% correct, but it goes with that one. Question 20. B is a reflection of A. Draw the line of reflection. So the mirror line is halfway between the two. So it's going to go through this point here. Apologies for this rubbishy drawing. There we go. Should be down the middle. Write down the equation of the line. It goes through interesting numbering as well. What numbers should be on the line, really? 2, 3, 4. So it goes through 3, 4, doesn't it? So it goes through 3, 4. It then goes through 2, 3. And it goes through 1, 2. And goes through 0, 1. So this is the X and this is the Y. Oh, and hopefully you can see the Y is 1 bigger than the X. So the equation of the line is Y is X plus 1. Okay. Describe fully how to get from A to C. Well, A to C, I messed this up as well, is a rotation, okay, because the shape is turned around. Is finding the centre rotation it's a 90-degree rotation. Trying to think where that's going to be. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2. Bear with me here a minute. I reckon it's going to be somewhere in this sort of area here. Not there. 3. I think it's down here, isn't it? 3.5. I don't know, need a bit of tracing paper and stuff around. Somewhere around here. But you get a bit of tracing paper, you trace A, and then you put it on and rotate it round. So you can do this by trial and error. Okay, there are construction methods. But I've got to rush on because so this is going to be a rotation 90 degrees anti-clockwise. That's 2 marks, and the third mark centre. I don't know exactly where it is, but roughly minus 0.51. Okay, that won't be exact. And 21, we're going to cube it and add 2. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, add 2 is 3. 0 cubed is 0, plus 2 is 2. Minus 1 times minus 1 times minus 1 is minus 1, add 2 is plus 1. And minus 2 cubed, minus 2 times 1 is 2 times minus 2 is minus 8, plus 2 is minus 6. We then got to plot the points. 2, 10 will be there approximately. 1, 3 is roughly there. 0, 2 is roughly there. Minus 1, 1. Sorry, I haven't got a very good scale, have I? Minus 2, minus 6. And minus 3, minus 25. And it's a cubic, so it's going to be down, across, and down. Oh, not very good drawing. Remember, it's a freehand curve, perhaps about this bit near there. Use a graph to estimate when it equals 0. So when's it cross the 0 line? We know it's somewhere between minus 1 and minus 2. So it's going to be here. So I'm going to guess minus 1.2. Drawing rubbish. And when does it equal 8? So we draw a line across at 8. Okay, and then we read off down, and I'm going to guess. Okay, just want to double back very quickly on question 20, just to make a couple of points. The centre rotation one, which I did say you could do by tracing paper, is by far the best way. It can be done by another way. If you find two equivalent points, now again, a ruler and a compass will be best here. If you look for the halfway point, so you bisect it, which again you could do with a compass with dash, 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 and do the bisector. But I know this is 5 across and 2 up, so if I go 1 across, I know it's there. My drawing's not great. If I do a 90-degree angle, which I'll do in a minute, if I pick another point, this one is equivalent to this one. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 across, so I go halfway, which will take me to here, and go straight down. This one's an easy one to bisect, because it's a horizontal line. So I know my centre of rotation will be on this line here. It'll also be on the bisector of this line here. Okay, and it ends up being actually there. Minus a half, plus a half. And a little check, we can see that this one is 3.5 squares up, 1.5 squares that way. So 3.5 across, 1.5 up. And this one is 1.5 that way, and 3.5 up that way. Same numbers, reverse order. Okay, so that's another way of measuring whether the 2 is correct. So the answer to that was minus a half and 0.5. Minus a half, 0.5. But they're expecting to do this with a bit of tracing paper and to do it by a bit of trial and error. Okay, this leaves on to the last question. Simplify. Indices, we're going to add the powers, so it's y to the power 7, purely because y cubed is this, y to the 4 is this. Multiply them together, we've got 7y's multiplied together. This one, do a bit separately, got to be a bit careful because of the negative. So 5 times 2x is 10x, and 5 times 3 is 15. I would then do this here. Minus 2 times x is minus 2x, and minus 2 times minus 1 is plus 2. So altogether we've got 10x take away 2x, 10x minus 2x, which is 8x, and we've got 15 plus 2 plus 17. People often get this wrong here, because you're taking away minus 2 times minus 1, so you get positive here. Both of these numbers divide by 2, so we're looking for 2 to be the common factor, and we get 2a plus 3. This one, they've both got a factor of 3, and they've both got a p in common, and then what's left. 3 times 2 is 6, and we've got a p missing. P times p is p squared. And here we've divided by 3, so we've got the factor of 3 left. We've already got the p, so it's just a q. 10 to the power minus 2. Well, we know 10 squared is 100. The minus power just means we do 1 over 100. The negative power is just the reciprocal, 1 over it. 7 to the power 0 is just 1, anything to the power 0. If you think about it, let's pick 2 for an easy example. 2 cubed is 8, 2 squared is 4, 2 to the power 1 is 2, 2 to the power 0 is just dividing by 2 every time. That must be a 1. And it works at every power. Okay, so by convention, anything to the power 0 is 1. And the last little bit, 1104 can be written as that. Work out the values C and D. So this is in effect a prime factor tree. So 1104, we know it's 3 times something. So how many 3's in 1104? Let's just work it out over here. How many 3's in 11 is 3. How many 3's in 20 is 6. Remainder 2. How many 3's? So 368 then here. Okay, then we've obviously got a power of 2 and another one. So 3, 6, 8. We're going to keep dividing it by 2. So we divide by 2 once, so we get 184. Divide that by 2, we get 92. Divide that by 2, we get 46. Divide that by 2, we get 23. Okay, so we divided by 2 4 times, so we end up with 3. This, in effect, is 2 to the power 4 times 23. So C is going to be 4, and D is going to be 23. And that is it. Thank you very much.